So application environments. So what are the application environments, guys? Does anyone knows what are the application environments in the real time? So in real time, our application will be deployed into multiple environments, right? Environments for testing purpose. Testing purpose. So what those are? Those are something like a dev environment. What is that? Dev env. What is the use of dev env, guys? So developer. So developers testing and what is the sit, guys? So stagings, sit environment. So this is for testing integration. Testing team will use the sit and the system integration result. So system integration and UAT-ENV. So what is UAT-ENV, guys? UAT-ENV is client side testing and user acceptance testing. User acceptance testing and so what is the fourth one, guys? So fourth one is pilot ENV.
The phone
So
is
what are those? Pre-production environment. What this is? This is testing with live data, right? This is nothing but a pilot environment. So once the development and testing completed in all the above environments, then it will be deployed into the production environment. Production environment means live environments. End user will access all the applications from the production environment. So for example, so this is the data center, for example. So this is the non-production environment that dev1 QA. So this will be used by the testing team and the development team, and this is the production is nothing but it's a live environment. End user, these are the end users will access this application from the production environment, right, guys? So now you understood the environments, real time environments, right? So life without docker, right? So what is containerization? I will tell you. So what is life without docker? Once development development and testing completed, once the development and testing completed all the above environments, then it will be deployed into production env environment, right? So production environment is nothing but a production env means live environment. Live environment. So end user will access this application from production env. Production env, right? So this is nothing but a real-time application environments, guys. Now life without docker. What is that, guys? Life without docker. So life without docker. So life without a Docker. So what is that, guys? Life without Docker. So we need to install all the required software in all the environments, right? So first we need to install it in the dev environment, and we need to install it in on the production environment, and we need to install it in on the QA environment and production environment, for example. So what is that? We need to install all the required softwares in all the environments to run our application. So softwares. We need to make sure we are using the same version of the softwares in all the missions. So all the missions. So for example, Java Tomcat. We need to make sure we are using same versions of the softwares in all the missions. So if any software version is not matched, if any software version is not matched, then the application execution may be fail. Then the application execution may be a fail. Right, guys? Yep. So setting up the stack, guys. So for example, so this is the this is the environment. We need to front end, back end, DB. So environment libs and dependencies, everything will be installed and everything will be same version. Okay. So issues with the deployment stack. So life without Docker, issues with the development stack setup. You use the Mac OS, they use the Windows. You developed the app using the Java and they have the Java level installed. Okay. You use the MongoDB, they are using MongoDB 4.2, you are using 3.6. Here, so this code does not work. It worked on the my system. They are saying something like right. So we need to install the same version of the software, right? So so if you want to run our application into multiple machines, then we have to install required softwares in all those machines, which is hectic task, which is hectic task, right, guys? So if you want to run all the application in multiple environments, multiple missions, these all are the multiple missions, and we have to install required software, Java Tomcat softwares in all the missions, which is hectic task, right? So life without Docker, so we have a hectic task, right? Yeah. So static task, right? So for example, in the physical array virtual machines, what we need to do, so we can install the OS, then we can install the software, then we can install the applications. Something like if the binaries means the softwares, if the Java Tomcat is different than these missions, so it will be very hectic too. So something like so here the code will be executed and here the code will not be executed. So right, so what are the advantages? Multiple OS in the same mission, easy maintenance and recovery, low total cost of ownership. What this is, if it is a virtualization. So what are the disadvantages? Multiple VMs lead to unstable performance. Hypervisor are not efficient as a host OS. Long boot up process. For example, hypervisor. Here we install the virtual machine and here we install the OS, right? Or here install the two OSs. So it will be a long boot up process and the binaries should be same on all the environments. All the environments, right? So then the solution call it as a containerization. In the physical, what we will do, in the physical, this is the only one server. So in the server only we need to install the only one OS, right? And so I want to install the number of OSs on one hardware. So we can go with the virtualization. What this is? Physical virtualization, then containerization. In the physical, we can install only one OS. In the virtualization, in the virtualization, we can install the number of OSs. We can install the number of OSs. How we can install something like we can install the hypervisor or a virtualization software. So VMware company or a Oracle company, the two companies are provided the virtualization solution. Okay, so we can install that virtualization software. Then it will be freely available the resources. Then you can install the number of OSs with the different OSs or something like same OSs, we can install this. This is the virtualization. So the virtualization and the containerization. So what is the drawbacks in the virtualization? So we need to install the same in the physical and virtualization. So what is the drawback? We need to install the same softwares, Java Tomcat, same versions. And we need to purchase the license for each and every product, each and every environment. It will be a cost effective. So what is the innovative thought? Innovative thought is a containerization. So what is that? containerization. In the containerization, what it will be there? So you can install the, you can run the container. So what a container is a lightweight process. So a container is a lightweight process. In this container, what it will be there? So it will be there in the OS. OS is nothing but a operating system, as well as libraries. Libraries is nothing but a Java, Tomcat software, and application code. Application code. What it is? For example, fb.jar. Okay. So your container contains a OS, and your content contains a libraries, and your container contains a application also, application code also. So this container will run it on. This container will run it on. So will run it on. So this container will run it on. So and run it on development environment, and we can run it on QA environment, and we can run it on production environment also. So no need of no, so nothing to worry about the dependencies, because of everything will be there in the this container, this container, this container. Okay, so we need to purchase one license, and we need a one OS, and the application code. So these containers contains a everything, application code and softwares and the OS also. So this container will run it on anywhere, because of, so there is no dependency between the application software supplies, the libraries means Java, Tomcat versions dependency, because of everything will be there in the container. What you need to just run the service. What service we need to run? A Docker service we need to run. Which service? Docker service we need to run it on all the either physical server or a virtual server. Then we can run the container. So we can create the one container, and we can run it on the multiple environments. Reusability. What is this? Reusability. And it will be a cost effective. So no need of a virtual machines, multiple virtual machines, no need of the multiple softwares, Java, Tomcat. So we don't need to purchase the licensing for every environment. So right, so we can create a one image or one container. So we can run it on the number of environments. We can run it on the number of environments. It's a reusability. Reusability. So now we understood, guys. Life without Docker and a life with Docker. So life without Docker, we need to install the required softwares in all the environments to run the application. So we need to make sure we are using the same version softwares in all the environments. And so if any software version is not matched, then the application execution may fail. So right, so if you want to run our application in multiple missions, then we have to install the required softwares in all those missions, which is hectic task, right? So then a life with the Docker. What is that, guys? Life with the Docker. So what is the life with the Docker? So life with the Docker. So Docker is a containerization platform. What is that, guys? So Docker is a containerization platform. Docker is used to build and deploy our application into any mission without bothering about the dependencies. Without bothering about the dependencies, because of, so we have a container, right? We can run it on anywhere. So run it on anywhere. No need to install the dependencies here. Dependencies means Java, Tomcat, Java, Tomcat, Java, Tomcat. So we already inbuilt in the container having the Java, Tomcat and OS and the application code. We just run it on the any environment. So Docker is a containerization solution. Docker is a containerization platform. Docker is used to build and to deploy our application. What is that? So Docker will build the application and deploy the application, build and deploy the application to many missions without bothering about the dependencies. So dependencies mean softwares like Java, Tomcat, which are required to run our applications. So dependencies, so everything will be there in the OS and the, so AngularJS, something like React, Java, DB, Tomcat, everything will be there in the our container. So Docker will reduce the gap between development and the deployment. What is that, guys? Docker will reduce the gap between the development and the deployment. Guys, understood? Life with Docker, life without Docker. Guys, understood? Yeah. So containerization technique. What is that? We just install the OS, then you can install the container engine means Docker, then you can run the number of containers. A container contains the app and the libraries and OS, app and libraries OS. Right. Containers on the same OS kernel are the lighter and smaller, better resource utilization compared to VM and short boot up process. Okay. So virtual missions. So virtual mission Docker. So something like what is the versus? The size should be heavy. It's a startup, so very easy, and the integration also very easy. So containerization, okay. So works on my system, mine to because of just a container, it will deploy it on the all the environments. So working on every system. So what is a Docker, guys? Docker is a platform for packaging, deploying, and running applications. What is that? What is a Docker? Docker is a platform for packaging, deploying, and running applications. Docker enables you to separate your application from your infrastructure so you can deliver software quickly. Docker packages the software into standardized units called as a containers that have everything the softwares need to run, including the libraries, system tools, code, and the runtime. So by taking advantage of the Docker methodologies for shipping, testing, and deploying code quickly, you can significantly reduce the delay between writing code and running it in the production. Running it in the production, right? So, for example, yeah. So virtualization. So what is a virtualization? Installing the multiple guest operating systems in a one host operating system. So hypervisor software will be used to achieve this, and we need to install all the required software in post OS to run our application. It is old technique to run the applications. System performance will become slow in this process. To overcome the problem of the virtualization, we are going for the containerization concept. So what is a containerization? Containerization is used to package all the softwares and application code into one container for the execution. Container will take care of everything which is required to run our application. So we can run the container in multiple missions easily, either development environment or QA environment or a production environment. Docker is a containerization software. Who is providing that containerization software, guys? Docker. Who is providing that virtualization software? So Oracle Virtual Machine or Oracle company and VMware company, they are providing the virtualization and hypervisor for Microsoft, KVM for kernel virtualization for the Red Hat. So every company have providing their own virtualization solution. Right, guys. So who provided the containerization solution? Containerization solutions provided by the Docker company. Who is the Docker? Docker is a containerization software. Using Docker, we will create the container for our application. Using Docker, we will create the container for our application. Using Docker, we will create a image for our application. So using Docker image, we can share easily to the multiple machines. Using Docker image, we can create Docker container and we can execute it. We can execute it. So Docker is a containerization software. Docker will take care of application and application dependencies for the execution. So deployments into multiple environments will become easy if we use the Docker container concept. Because of if you create the Docker image, we can run it on number of environments. I will show you the Docker image. Yeah. So you see, so for example, what is that Docker file? So Docker file is to create the Docker image. Yeah, you see. So for example, so from CentOS, means it will download the CentOS. So run install Java. We install the Java and create the OPT Tomcat and download the Tomcat software. Then so we can untar this tar.js and create as a Tomcat folder and add sample var dat to web apps, write expose 80. So command. So these commands will run while creating the Docker image. This command will run while running the container. Okay, this application will execute, right? Docker run -p 8080. So something like so where you can see it www dot localhost dot 8080 sample. So right, so you see, so it's a simple, very simple. We can create the Docker file. From the Docker file, we can create the Docker image. So from the Docker image, we can run the Docker container. I will show you that. Yeah. So Docker architecture. So what is the Docker architecture, guys? So from the Docker file, whatever I showed you, right? So from the Docker file, so by using Docker build, we can build the Docker image. So these Docker images, we can push it to the Artifactory. This Docker image is so we can push it to the Artifactory repositories. Those are JFrog, Nexus, or Docker Hub, Docker Registry. These all are the Artifactory Artifactory tools. Okay. From this Docker image, we can run the Docker container. So if you want to run the Docker container development environment, we can run it in the integration environment, we can run it in the production environment, we can run it. We just create the Docker image and we can run it on multiple environments. Guys, understood? So what is the Docker complete architecture? So this is the Docker host. So in the Docker host, what we can create? So we can run the containers. These all are the containers. And where we can run from, we can run it from the Docker images. So these Docker images are pushed from, these Docker images are pulled from the registry or Artifactory. It may be a Docker registry, or it may be a JFrog, or it may be a Nexus. These all are the Artifactory tools. So once we build the Docker image, right? So we can directly push it to the, yeah. So this is the JFrog Artifactory. So this is the JFrog Artifactory tool. So we can keep the artifacts, we can keep the Docker image in this JFrog. So manage, secure, and automate software releases with the JFrog platform. Okay, or a Nexus. So Nexus repository, Artifactory repository. So Nexus repository is a universal software artifactory management system for storing and managing and distributing build artifacts. So whatever we build, right? The Docker images, Python packages like jars, everything will be stored under that JFrog. Guys, understood? Yeah. Right. So we are pushing it to the Docker image tree. So right. So what are the commands? It will be very easy, guys. Docker build, Docker pull, Docker run, Docker push. Okay. The command should be very easy. Very easy. What are those? The terminology of the Docker, Docker file, Docker image, Docker hub, Docker registry, Docker client, Docker content. Okay. So the simple Docker container architecture is very simple. Containers are a very simple Docker containers. Just Docker
Hello.
build. We can build the.
Sorry for that. So somebody asks,
Hmm.
what are the components of Docker? We have to mention that it constitutes of a Docker client, Docker host, and Docker registry. That is
Hmm.
the components of Docker. That is how I should mention, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. In the Docker, just we can build the Docker image from the Docker file. So once you build the Docker image, right, we can push it to the registry. We can push it to the registry like a JFrog or something like a Nexus or so Docker Hub registry. Because of so we can pull that Docker image in different environments. So what are those environments? I want to pull that code in the so development environment. So from our So from our registry, where our registry, the registry may be a nexus or jfrog or a, so jfrog nexus or a docker hub. So whatever the docker image, the docker image is there in this repository. So I want to pull or push that docker image. You can directly get the connection from here to here. Then you can download the, we can pull the docker image and we can run this docker image as a container. This run docker image as a container. The same way in the all the environments. So why they are pushing? They don't have a access to connect between these two, right? That's the reason we are pushing to the repository. So artifact repository, and we are pulling that to every environment and we are running it. So running it. But if why architecture, why Kubernetes orchestration? Because of if Docker container crashes or deletes or something like stopped, so there is no capability of auto healing and self starting. There is no capability of a self start or a auto healing, something like it crashes. I want to create immediately. So there is no capability of the that facility for the containers. So that's the reason we need to manage that Dockers. Who will manage these Dockers? So that orchestrator. Who is the orchestrator? So Kubernetes is the orchestrator to manage the to manage these containers. If container crashes, the Kubernetes will automatically create another container. So if it is stopped, it automatically start it again. So something like. Yes, understood? Guys, guys, speak out, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, very good. Yeah, guys, now tell me, life without Docker. What we will have, what we will happen it without life without Docker?
Life without Docker, we have to
Hmm.
install working with the
Yes, we
directly
need to
on install
install
instances multiple
all the
times
required softwares.
for multiple
All the
environment, multiple
yes,
software.
all the environments to run our application, right? So this is one point. Other point is, so we need to make sure we are using same version of a software in all the missions, right? We need to make sure we are using same version of same versions of softwares in all mission. If any software, if any software version is not matched, what will happen, guys? Then application execution may fail, right? For example, the dev environment, Java installed, Java 11 version, okay, and integration or SIT integration installed Java 8, right? So if any software version is not matched, the software version is not matched, the application execution may fail. Execution may fail, right, guys? So if we want to run our application in multiple missions, then we have to install required softwares in all those missions which is a hectic task, right? It will be a hectic task. We need to match every software version in all the environments, right? Then, so a life with Docker. So without Docker, there must be a hectic task. So life with Docker. So what is life with Docker? The Docker is a containerization platform. Containerization platform. Docker is used to build. So Docker is used to build and deploy our application into missions, any missions. Deploy our application into any mission without bothering about the dependencies. Dependencies, right, guys? And Docker is used to dependency. So dependencies means what is dependencies, guys? Softwares. So like Java, Tomcat, right? Same version we need, which are required to run our application. Okay. So dependencies. What are the dependencies? So dependencies OS. So something like Java, Tomcat, right? DB, something like a DB software, and etc. Right? Docker will reduce the gap. Docker will reduce gap between development and deployment. Right? So once you deploy that, so once you develop the code, right? So through this code, so we can create the image. So we can create the image. Then from that image, we can deploy it very easily. So from the Docker file, we can build the Docker image. So from that Docker image, we can run the container. So it will be very easy. So what is that? So so what is that, guys? Docker will reduce the gap between development and the deployment. So once the development is done, right, so you can directly create the jar or var, and you can use that jar var in the Docker file, and you can create the Docker image, push it to the Docker hub, and they can deploy it easily. Something like we need to do a hot fix. So something like there is an issue with the hot fix. I want to do immediately, easily, right? So we can develop it and we can create the Docker image and deploy it in the development, then integration. They are working fine. They directly deploy it in the production, right? So it reduces the gap between development and the deployment. So in my environment, we are doing the daily deployments. What is that? Daily deployment. So the deployments will be from Monday to Thursday. Monday to Thursday. So we are doing a daily deployment because of every day they are pushing their changes. They are pushing the changes and deploying the applications. Please understood? So life with Docker. So Docker architecture. You already know the Docker architecture, right? So what is the Docker architecture, guys? Tell me Docker architecture.
A Docker
Nice.
client,
Very good. Docker.
client, Docker host, and a Docker registry. And Docker host consists of Docker containers and Docker images.
Docker registry. Docker container.
Host,
Very good. So how we can run the container? How we can run the container?
Docker daemon
What is that?
image. Daemon image.
Yes, yes, Docker image. So what is that? Docker image, Docker registry, Docker container. So how it will create the Docker image? How it
A
will create
file
the Docker image?
from a Docker file.
Very good, nice. So from the Docker file, so we need to, what is the architecture? Docker file, Docker image, Docker container, Docker registry, right? Docker file, Docker image, Docker registry, Docker container. Nice. What is a Docker file? What is Docker file, guys?
Instructions of how to get
Yes, very
put
good.
together. Yeah.
It contains instructions. It contains instructions to build Docker. Guys, to build Docker.
Image.
Yes, very good. To build Docker image. Okay. What is a Docker image? What is a Docker image, guys? I already told you, right? A Docker image contains.
Image to build a container.
Yes. It is a package.
Specification of
It is a Apache package which contains code plus dependencies. A Docker image contains the code and the dependencies. What is Docker registry?
the place where all the Docker images are stored.
Very good. So what are the examples? What are the tools?
Docker Hub,
Docker Hub.
JFrog.
Amazon registry.
Yeah, Amazon registry. JFrog,
JFrog.
Nexus.
Yes.
Yes, very good. It is a repository to store Docker images. It is a repository to store the Docker images. So what is Docker container?
The image is in running state.
Yes, very good. It is a runtime process which runs our application container, right? Node. So what is node, guys? Once Docker image is created, then we can pull the Docker image and we can run the Docker image in any mission, right?
Yes, sir.
Once Docker image is created, so then we can pull that image and we can run that image in any mission. That image in any mission. Guys, understood? So it's a simple Docker architecture is very simple. Guys, understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So first we need to build the Docker file. Then we can from the Docker file. So we can build it to Docker image. So from the Docker image to we can run as a container. And run as a container. Right. Yeah. So this is the architecture. So Docker build, Docker pull, Docker run. Okay. Guys, understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thanks. Yes, it will be very easy. If you know the Linux, you already know the Linux, right, guys? Who knows Linux?
I also know, sir.
You know Linux. Ben, yes. So if you know the Linux, right, it will be very easy, guys. Because of so the commands only, commands, CLI commands only we can Yeah. So containerization, you know the containerization, right? Containerization.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll discuss tomorrow, guys. The next class will continue from tomorrow. So what we will do tomorrow? So tomorrow we can launch you already know how to launch the AWS EC2 instance, right? So once we launch the EC2 instance, then we can do the environment setup, guys. So environment setup is nothing but we can install the Docker on the Amazon Linux, and then we can start working on so Docker image, Docker full world, something like a Docker commands, guys. Okay, guys, understood? Any doubts? Prasad.
Yes, sir.
So you understand, right, Prasad?
Yes, I understood. Till point I understood.
Okay, nice. Ben, what about you?
Yes, I do.
Thank you so much. Neil, also my last class student, right? Get
Yes,
Neil.
I am Hari. Yes, yes.
I just yeah, I'm hearing your voice, right? I am remembering this guy's name.
Yes,
And
yes.
Prasad, I understand. So last time we took the Git and GitHub, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, yes. And so Raviraj, Santosh, Ramesh. So Ben is the recent GitHub guy. So we started Git and GitHub also. Git, Linux, Docker container. So Ben joined both the classes, right? Ben?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. So we'll continue from tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys. So it will be very
Mhm.
easy. No need to worry about it, guys.
Yeah, but
But
I'm not completely aware of the Linux command, Hari.
so yeah, you can join Linux. Actually, the Linux batch also started before the Kubernetes. Uh, we
Okay.
started Linux also simultaneously. Yeah, yeah. Raviraj, go
Yes,
ahead.
like actually, want to share one thing. Like recently, I cleared some interview regarding the DevOps itself, but still,
Hmm.
I feel like and like it's not a negative thing. Like, but I'm bit like I'm not
Confused.
experienced. Yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
not experienced in uh, deployment part, like through the CI/CD.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
here, I just want to be perfect. Like actually, I'm a manual tester and recently got cleared some interview for DevOps
Hmm.
role. So just now,
Okay, okay.
before going there, like I just want to be too much perfect in
Yeah,
entire
yeah, yeah.
CI/CD and in deploying it in any cloud provider. So through the CI/CD. So I'm excited to learn that, sir, from you.
Yes, very nice, nice. You are a tester, huh? I think Neil and Prasad also testers.
Yes, sir. Like I'm a manual tester
Sorry.
completely for
No,
Manual, huh?
I'm not the tester, Hari. I'm the developer, senior developer.
Developer. Yeah, yes, 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 yes. So
I am
Ravi
into
Raj, you saw my number in the PPT, right? Ravi.
no, sir, I didn't took the screenshot.
Hari. I am not tester. Sorry, I am not tester.
So you are not a tester, huh?
I am not tester.
Okay, okay, okay.
I am into cloud.
Okay, you are into cloud. Sorry. Someone in the
So,
last batch. Hmm.
yeah, can we just relate it to this, Hari? Like we are using the OpenShift with Kubernetes. Can we relate this with Docker Kubernetes and
Hmm.
the
Kubernetes
Jenkins?
will work with that OpenShift. OpenShift also will use the Docker only, right?
Yeah, Docker only, but you're
Hmm.
explaining the Jenkins, right? How can I'm not
Uh,
sure how can I relate with OpenShift?
it will be very easy. The every CI/CD looks like something like there may be a UI that the dashboard is different than OpenShift. I think actually I didn't worked on OpenShift, but so one of my colleague is using the OpenShift. I will let you know. So once I will check with that guy
Okay.
and I will let you know. Hmm?
Okay, and the commands and everything will be this remain same, right?
Same. The dashboard, that scripting language. So everything is same. But the idea is same, but the dashboard is different.
Okay.
So
Okay.
just that build the job is different. The way of building is same, but a dashboard is different than OpenShift. So Raviraj,
Hari, one question. This OpenShift is easy to work with, huh?
no, I didn't use it actually. So actually, I
Okay.
tried to did the certification in OpenShift because I tried, but so CKA I did the CKA because of our company also uses the EKS. That's the reason I did that one. Actually, I
So,
tried I tried actually I tried to do the OpenShift. So OpenShift is a good one. Something like most of the companies are not using OpenShift, Neil.
okay, okay. Means
Yeah.
use case is completely less, right? For OpenShift.
Use cases say completely very less.
Oh,
OpenShift is very less.
So OpenShift is I is it the different one, right? Like which
Different one. That is a really that
it's
OpenShift is built
from
by
which
Red
company?
Hat.
Oh yeah, Red Hat, right? That is now it is
Red Hat.
IBM one.
Yes, yes, yeah, IBM Red Hat. The Red Hat is the IBM is acquired by the Red Hat. Now it is a IBM. IBM also we one Kubernetes service, that is IBM IKE, IBM Kubernetes engine.
Okay.
Yeah. Ramesh, do you have? So Raviraj, right? So okay, you can. So is it recording? So
Sure, sir. I will just watch the recording and I will get your numbers.
yeah. You can watch the yesterday. You already there, right?
Yes, sir. Yesterday also I was there.
You
Yes.
can watch that recording and you can ping to me once. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Mm.
So it will be available immediately right after the session, right?
I don't know, Neil. You can check with that DURGASOFT team.
Okay.
Actually,
Okay.
so they are doing the recordings. I don't know exactly how they are uploading it. So
Like
in
till
that Git, right? Git every day they are uploading it.
Yeah, I think they are uploading, but this is since it is a demo, they'll post it on the YouTube actually.
Email. You got the email that demo, right?
Yes,
So
I got it.
Raviraj, you
Yes.
got the email, right? In the demo video, YouTube video.
there, the playlist will be mentioned. So from there we can get the recording.
No. You got the mail, right? So
Yes,
the
sir. I
demo
received.
video also in the mail itself they provided that YouTube video. You can watch that video and you can get that from YouTube.
Sure.
Yes, it's in our mail.
Yes. Ben, you are from which state?
I'm in the US.
Yeah. That's the reason I'm asking. You are from
Oh yeah,
Texas
Maryland.
or
Maryland.
Maryland? Okay.
Yeah.
Hari,
Okay.
one
Thank you,
question.
guys.
You
Yeah, Prasad.
parallelly started Linux plus Ansible course, right?
Ansible, Linux with Ansible. It will
It
be
means
very helpful for the DevOps guys.
yes, sir. But the thing is, like taking up two parallel things is very difficult. Next month again, you'll start new batch, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Every month we'll start the batch.
yeah. I think it would
Uh,
be better Hari, if we can start from 9 to 10. No, that was very good timing for us.
Yes,
That
we'll.
Kubernetes, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kubernetes. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
Same. If it is morning batch, it will be bit easy. Just now I joined
I'm a
the.
real-time employee, Ravi.
No.
Oh,
Morning we do have offices, right? So it will be a bit difficult.
Mm.
So 9 to 10 would be better for us.
Yeah. So I am. So this is recording, huh? Recorded, huh? Okay. I
Yeah.
want to talk much on the recordings, right? Everyone is watching. That they are keep it in the YouTube or something like. So 1 second, I will ask to stop the recording. Hello.